Hey, what's up, guys? It's Steve again, Harmless Rebel. Gonna do a miscellaneous vinyl update here. Got quite a bit of stuff, just stuff I've been listening to over the last few weeks. A lot of the stuff that came in or that I picked up within the last 3 or 4 months. And I wanted to do a quick video before my wife and I go on vacation tomorrow. So if you guys comment down below and don't hear from me for a couple days, I'm not blowing you off. Just enjoying our vacation. But so let's just kind of jump in. Start off with the Nixons. I don't know if you guys remember this band. I don't even know if they had another album after this. I'm pretty sure they did, but really dug this album. This was Foma. I didn't know that this was even on vinyl. As a matter of fact, when I looked a few years back, I remember it not being on vinyl. And I could have been wrong. Maybe I couldn't find it. The big song that they had was the song Sister. Early 90s, mid 90s alternative band. This was 95. I saw this band at a place called Gibson's in Phoenix. And it was a fantastic show. These guys were so good live, so energetic. Literally, the singer was climbing the walls and jumping back up on stage. Really killer show. I don't remember anything else coming out from them. I really liked this whole album, and then they just kind of disappeared after that. But I've wanted that on vinyl for quite some time and was really happy. When I saw somebody show it on the internet, maybe on Facebook, I saw somebody show a picture of it, and I went and found it on Discogs and ordered it right then for like $9. So it wasn't expensive at all. Definitely worth having in the collection. Next up, this one's an upgrade. The copy I had was pretty ring worn and well played, so it was really nice to find a really nice pressing of this. This is Remember the Future from Nectar. Just fantastic 70s prog. I love these guys. Probably their first 5 albums or so. Through about, I don't know, 76, 77. Then they had some stuff that I wasn't really digging, but fantastic album. Another one that highly recommend checking out if you're into prog rock. This one was a record store day pressing from a few years ago. I remember the double CD of this from back at the time. I actually watched this concert live on TV. I had just left Germany about 6 months before the wall came down. I had lived there for a few years, and that was a really big event for me and my family to watch live. But this is the Wall live in Berlin. Again, this was a record day pressing. I don't remember what year this was. Maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I didn't pick it up. I didn't think it was worth the $40 or whatever it was going for. And then I found it a couple months later for like $25, which I thought was a better price. I don't remember all of these guest artists being there. I like I said, I watched this live, and maybe I just didn't know who they were yet. But like Joni Mitchell and Van Morrison and the Scorpions, and I don't remember any of them being there. I remember the Roger Waters, but sounds really good. It's a really quiet, really nice sounding pressing. So if you find that for a decent price, it's definitely worth grabbing. Next up, this is just one of those albums from the 90s that I think even the band was shocked how big this album got. I played this. It's kind of funny because they were kind of going for an anti-pop thing with this album, and it ended up becoming a huge pop sensation. I mean, it went, I want to say it went like 4 or 5 times platinum, but ran across it for like $15. So REM Out of Time. I like this whole album. One of my favorite songs is Shiny Happy People, and it's just so over the top, and radio song's fantastic. Losing My Religion, just a great album. So REM Out of Time. That one sounds good too. Next up, this one was another upgrade. I actually have a first pressing. However, it wasn't in the best condition. This is a repress from a couple years ago, but I've always loved this album. This is Smokin' OPs from Bob Seger. Just a fantastic covers album. I ended up finding this when Billy Hurst was out here for like $10 somewhere. So really nice to have a much nicer playing copy in the collection. Next up, I wasn't going to buy this one. I've got it on cassette. I've got it on CD. When they announced this, I pulled it out and played it again, and the CD version, and was disappointed. And it wasn't because of the songs. The CD that I have, it doesn't sound good. I don't know if it's a compression. Something's wrong with it though. And then I was at one of the local stores here, and they had it on sale. So I grabbed it, and man, this thing sounds fantastic. This is Starfish from the Church. I like everything that the Church put out. This is by far their best-selling album, and has their biggest hits on it. I prefer their earlier stuff, the more gothic. Seance is fantastic. That's probably my favorite release from them. But I mean, this is a fantastic album, and Intervention Records, who I was already a fan of from the Flying Burrito Brothers represses that they did. Those are some of the best sounding, by far the best sounding pressings of those albums. But Intervention just does such a fantastic job, and this thing sounds amazing. There were songs on here that I remember from back in the day that were just kind of throwaway songs for me that just sound like different songs on here. Intervention did such a fantastic job. The mastering is amazing. It's dead quiet. Highly recommend picking that one up. Next up, this was I don't want to say it was a blind buy. I obviously know the band. It's just I don't generally listen to this era. So I really like the early Hawkwind stuff. I like all the stuff that they released with Lemmy. Hawkwind, people don't realize Hawkwind's still putting out stuff. They just put out an album like a year and a half, 2 years ago. I like that early 70s stuff though, and the later stuff that I've heard, it's not bad. I just don't get into it like I get into the earlier stuff. However, this was a really nice original pressing on Charisma, and I want to say it was like $15 or $16. So I said, you know what the hell, I grabbed it. It's really good. I don't like it as much as the first few albums. It's still a really good album. Definitely worth having in the collection. I was really surprised. I actually ended up buying the album after this too, but I'll show in another video. I haven't gotten around to listening to it yet. But next up, this was a Record Store Day release. I showed it on Record Store Day, but I've been playing this a lot. I love the Sisters of Mercy, and these BBC sessions are fantastic. I think it's so we got John Peel from 1982, a couple songs from 1983, and then John Peel in 1984 as well. God, how influential is John Peel? How many bands broke? Probably hundreds of bands that we know and love broke because of John Peel. But fantastic. If you run across this one, I still see it floating around in shops. Definitely worth grabbing right there. Next up, just one of those soundtracks that you have to have in your collection. This thing used to go for crazy money, and it finally got a relatively cheap repress. So I had to have it. I mean, just for Son of a Preacher Man, you got to have this one. But I mean, Lonesome Town is fantastic. What else was on here? There was one more song. It doesn't matter. Pulp Fiction. I've had this on CD since it came out, and really nice to have that one on vinyl. Next up, speaking of Intervention Records, I was on their website looking for something else, and I saw that they were doing 2 of the Everclear albums. So I couldn't pass that up. This album's fantastic. This is So Much for the Afterglow. They're also doing Sparkle and Fade, which I have on order. It's on back order though, so really looking forward to hearing that one when it comes out. But this album and Sparkle and Fade are probably it's the only two Everclear albums I go back and listen to, and they're both perfect albums. What was the one after this? American Family. Diary of an American Family. I don't remember what it was called. It was pretty good too. These first two were like I said, they're both fantastic. Not a bad song on them. I Will Buy You a New Life. What was the other big hit off here? So Much for the Afterglow and Everything to Everyone were probably the biggest hits on here. Not a bad song though. Again, Intervention, really thick, really nice jackets. And dead quiet and amazing mastering. Next up, Bobby Digital. I'm not a huge fan of the RZA as a rapper. Production is amazing. His rap, though, I've always thought he was the weakest of the WuTang Clan until this album came out. And I don't remember why I bought it when it came out. There may have been, I was DJing at the time. So there may have been one song on here that I bought the album for my DJ set, but I ended up getting hooked on this album, and it's fantastic. This one and Gravediggers, the Gravediggers debut. RZA is fantastic on both of those. I kind of consider him a throwaway as a rapper on most of the rest of the stuff that they do, but I've always thought this album was just perfect. So if you're into that peak era Wu-Tang Clan, that's one worth grabbing from Find Me Please. Next up, one of my favorites. Just saw him in October of last year. Social Distortion. This is Mike Ness, Cheating at Solitaire. He did 2 solo albums. I bought them both at the same time. Craft Records did a really good job on these. I haven't spun the other one, but man, this is just such a great album. Misery Loves Company, The Devil and Miss Jones, Cheating at Solitaire. I mean, just the guy is just a genius. I don't think he's ever released anything that I didn't love. Just, man, so good. Recommend picking those up if you still can. The Craft Records stuff seems to stay around for a while, but once it disappears, and the price seems to shoot up on this stuff. So, next up, Train. I actually pulled this one out because of Melinda Murphy. I think she did a video where she talked about this was one of the albums that she didn't like the sound of. And I remember really liking it when I heard it. So I pulled it out and played it again. And what we basically figured out is that... so I don't know if you can see it right there. I have an EQ. I don't always run it. Sometimes I do. And this album sounds fantastic when it's EQ'd. It sounds amazing. When you turn the EQ off, it kind of flattens out. And that's kind of what she was talking about in the video. So definitely worth grabbing this album if you can find it. I don't think this one has gone up too much yet. I'm not a huge Train fan. I like about half of this album. I think it's the first. I like the A side of this album. I've never felt the need to buy anything else from them, but I've always liked a few songs on this one. And I got it. I ordered this when it came out from MoFi, so I think it was like 30, maybe 30, 35 bucks. I think they're going for like 60 or 70 now. So if you're a Train fan, grab them while you still can before the price is up over 100 bucks. But just keep in mind, EQ it. It sounds really good. Next up, Pearl Jam. So it's funny, I bought this on Record Store Day, and then I saw they were selling online for like 70, 80 bucks. So I threw it up on eBay because I'm not a huge... I love the first 3 Pearl Jam albums. I've never been a fan of anything after that. There's been songs I've liked over the years. Like I remember I bought Yield when it came out. There were a couple songs on there. I've just never been a Pearl Jam fanboy. However, this one has Alive on it, which is one of my favorite Pearl Jam songs. So anyway, I ended up selling it for like $70 on eBay. I threw it on eBay for $10 and people bid it up like crazy. And then like a month ago, I found it for $16.99. So went ahead and picked it up again. That's I want to say they were like $19.99 when they first came out. Next up, Foreigner. So I still needed 2 of the Foreigner albums, the MoFi pressings, and the 2 that I need just popped up about a month ago. MoFi had repressed them. So first up, we got Foreigner, which is obviously my favorite, probably everybody's favorite Foreigner album. So the mastering, it sounds fantastic. It's a dead quiet album. Sounds really good. It's really low. I don't know why they recorded it so low. I don't think it's the masters, because I had an original pressing and I don't remember the original pressing being so low and me having to crank up the stereo. I saw a lot of people say that the original blows this one away. I don't agree with that. I think the mastering on this is much, much better. However, yes, I get the argument. And what's really weird about that is this one was recorded really low. However, Foreigner 4 is kind of hot, so it's mixed a little bit higher. They did a great job on both of these. So I already had, what's the second one? I already had Double Vision and whatever the one after that with the lady in the shower on the cover. I already had those 2. I grabbed those when they came out, but for some reason, I know why. This is their most popular for guys who are into 70s rock and hard rock. This is the one that's probably their most commercially successful. Was Head Games the third one? That sounds about right. However, they sound phenomenal. If they pop up again on, just don't pay the $150. They're not out of print. They'll be popping up again on on Mobile Fidelity. But they're definitely worth having. They blow the originals away, and both of those albums are just loaded with hit songs. Next up, Me First and the Gimmies. If you're not familiar with these guys, you've got, one guy from Strung Out. I think it's the singer is from Strung Out. You've got Fat Mike from No Effects. One of the guys from No Use for a Name, if I remember correctly. And there's been a rotation of guys throughout these albums. But basically what these are is cover albums. They cover hit songs from every genre: pop, R&B, blues, country. Each different album has a theme. I still need 2 more of them, but this is Me First and the Gimmies are a drag. So it's all female sung albums, punk versions. So you got Over the Rainbow, Don't Cry for Me, Argentina, science fiction double feature from what's the name of the movie? Rocky Horror Picture Show, Summertime, Favorite Things, Rainbow Connection, Phantom of the Opera, what else? Tomorrow, What I Did for Love. Cabaret. They do a fantastic job on these. And I don't remember which ones it was. Not only are they doing punk versions, some of these, they take a punk song, they take the actual music from a punk song and turn these... So one of these, it's a Bad Religion song. I don't remember what song it is, but they're singing the lyrics. And they're still singing it the way it was. Favorite Things. So they're singing Favorite Things, which is from The Sound of Music, but they're doing it to a Bad Religion song, and it's fantastic. If you haven't checked these out, go online and listen to them. I love cover songs. I love when bands take a different genre and cover it. And these guys have always done a fantastic job. I want to say there's 7 or 8 different albums. And like I said, each one has a different theme. Next up, one of the best punk albums probably of the last 30 years. This album is fantastic. I've shown it before on CD. I thought I had it on record, but I don't. There's an addendum to this with additional songs from these. I think it's called the 59 Sound Sessions, actually. now that I think about it. But this is the actual album. Unfortunately, I haven't really liked anything else this band has released. I mean, this album is perfect. If I remember correctly, they're from New Jersey. There's a lot of, and actually speaking of Mike Ness, there's a little bit of Social Distortion in here. There's a lot of Bruce Springsteen in here. The songwriting, it has a lot of Bruce Springsteen. A little bit of Against Me. Actually, the sound is probably closest to Against Me. Bring in a little bit of Social Distortion and bring in a lot of Bruce Springsteen, and that's kind of the sound you have. But this album is fantastic. Every time I pull this out and play it, whether it's on CD or now on vinyl, I end up listening to it like 5 or 6 times. Highly recommend checking that one out. Next up, I was kind of disappointed by this one. Everybody said that this was the definitive copy of this album. I think the In Groove, is it the In Groove? I think he rated this on his top 100 analog pressings of all time. These things were going for $150 till they did the recent repress, and I'm sure they're going to start going for that again. Listen, it sounds good. It's not one of the top 100 analog pressings of all time. I wouldn't even put it up there with an Analog Productions or a Mo-Fi pressing. It's not far below them. It just doesn't jump out at me like everybody else is making it out to sound. But this is Fleetwood Mac Rumors. This is the 45 RPM pressing. They're still out there. Maybe it's just me. I had somebody say it's my system because I'm not using like $1,000 needle. I'm using a $300 needle. Which is stupid. Like I said, I've got Analog Productions pressings and Mobile Fidelity pressings that sound absolutely amazing. And this one just doesn't rank up there with them. It sounds really good. Don't get me wrong. And it's a fantastic album. I mean, there's so many hits on here. I think it's just this pressing is getting overhyped a little bit. Next up, this one will probably surprise some people. I'm not a big pop person, and the pop that I like is 70s and 80s pop. For some reason, with Miley Cyrus's, was it her second album? I'm not talking about any of the Hannah Montana stuff. I don't know anything about the Hannah Montana stuff. And it's not the one with Party in the USA. It's the one that she did with the guys from... I can't even think of their names. One of her albums was like a more alternative album. Flaming Lips. The one that she did with the Flaming Lips. Kind of grabbed my attention. And then the album after that, I liked it. But with this album, I really like this entire album. This is Plastic Hearts from Miley Cyrus. I like her voice. Her voice has changed. She's got a deepness to her voice. And I really like the alternative stuff that she does. And her covers are fantastic. But with this one, and I'm sure you guys have heard the songs, whether you know it's her or not, but she's kind of going the same route that The Weeknd is going, where she's bringing in those 80s pop elements. And I really dig that. I really dig the new kind of electro pop mixed with that 80s influence, like The Weeknd, and again, like this. There's a whole lot of Joan Jett in here. Was Joan Jett on here? No, she did a song with Stevie Nicks. This is a fantastic album, though. And then what's really cool about this is on side D, I was talking to somebody about her covers. She does fantastic covers. And my favorite cover of hers is her zombie cover from the Cranberries. She also covers Heart of Glass on here. And then the Midnight Sky remix with Stevie Nicks on here is fantastic. But really good. Okay, Billy Idol's on here too. Really good album though. Check that one out if you guys are into, like, if you're into The Weeknd and that mix of modern pop with 80s. Definitely worth checking out. And then my two favorite I saved for last, not even intentionally. Taste live at Isle of Wight. Rory Gallagher is probably, I would say, one of the three greatest guitarists of all time. And he's a name you never get put up there with the likes of Jimi Hendrix and Peter Green and Eric Clapton and whoever else you can think of. He's fantastic, and he was a guy that came on the scene with taste. I think it was like 17 or 18 when their first album came out, and guys like Jimi Hendrix and Peter Green and Eric Clapton had nothing but good things to say about this kid. And I don't remember which one it was. I want to say it was Eric Clapton talked about how watching him change the way that he played. So I don't remember if it was him, but it was one of those guys in that contemporary group that was over there in the UK. But so this is his before he went solo with all the Rory Gallagher albums. This was his band Taste. It was a very short-lived band. I want to say 2 years maybe. They only had a few albums, but they're fantastic. And this is his youngest stuff. As he got older, he got just better and better and better. And then last but not least, one of my all-time favorite albums, Metal from Pink Floyd. This is a second UK pressing. I thought it was a first UK pressing. It's not. It's I want to say it was it 72 or 73 that this one came out. But it sounds fantastic. I may do a shootout between this one and the recent reissues from a couple years ago. But that's it, guys. I wanted to do something, throw together a video real quick before I went on vacation. I'll be gone until next Tuesday night. So, no, next Wednesday, I think we come back. So, I hope everybody's good. If I don't see you between now and then, have a good week and take care, everybody.